tech job market in 2026 looks nothing like it did 3 years ago. AI is replacing some roles, creating new ones. Entire job category that didn't exist in 2023 are now some of the most in-demand position in the industry. And if you're still preparing for the job that exists in 2022 market, you are already behind. Today's guest has worked at Amazon, MPL, and is currently serving a fintech based out of US. He will be helping us knowing the exact job market we are having right now. Welcome to the Geeks for Geeks podcast, where we bring you to the conversation and people no one in the India's tech industry doing right now, at tech industry actually. Welcome Navneet, who has worked at Amazon, MPL, and now serving in the US-based fintech firm. Apart from his regular job, he's sharing his insights, his wisdom on the channel Tech Talk by Navneet, and he'll be sharing this all today with us. Welcome Navneet to the podcast.
Thanks, Avni. Thanks for having me here.
Great. Navneet, before we get into some serious conversation, I want to know your journey from, in your words, what exactly it was like, and where, like, you have switched 3 to 4 roles, I guess, where it was the most tough situation for you to change, like be it in 2026, be it in 2023. When was the toughest part you thought that this shouldn't be here?
Toughest part, the transition, I would actually say there were two different transitions that challenged me in different ways altogether in my career. The first was when I was moving from OA Rickshaw to Amazon. So in my early third year of college, it was COVID era and everything was remote. So I got an internship at OA Rickshaw. I was working as an iOS developer back then, which was more of a front-end focused role. When I joined Amazon, I joined it as a back-end developer. So it was not just about changing the companies, it was about changing the entire engineering mindset, I would say. So like suddenly I was started thinking about scalability, distributed systems, APIs, databases, performance, and majorly problem solving at a much deeper level, I would say. So that transition required me to learn a completely different side of engineering altogether. So that was one. And the second challenge was moving into Greenlight, which is a fintech company. So like I am in the card processing and payments team here. And honestly, in fintech, you can't build payment system if you don't understand how payments and card processing actually works. So like if I take an example, like people just simply tap a card at a merchant store and the payment goes through. So, but behind the scenes, there are concepts like authorization, settlement, chargeback, fraud detection, risk control, and many other moving pieces, I would say. So learning that finance domain expertise along with the development part of the job was initially a bit challenging for me. So those were, I would say, the two transitions for me was kind of tougher than usual.
Oh, all right. And when did you first start feeling this current shift? Current shift of, the method you have been telling. Yeah.
What exactly? The current shift basically?
Means when did you exact started feeling that there is a market shift, there is a technique shift that I need to learn and then get into it? There might be times that you haven't heard of this technology, but your next role asked the same. So was it somewhere?
I think it's never about a particular language or a particular tech stack. It's always about how you are approaching a problem to solve. If you are a great problem solver, great thinker, you know how to approach a problem and drive towards the solution, then you will be eventually able to learn and adapt any new technologies, whether it any new framework or whatever it is. So I prefer that approach. Language or framework is just a matter of 7 to 10 days. You just need to learn syntax and that's it. So I think I have approached every job in a way that I have to drive towards the solution in the interviews rather than just having some of the technical skills, maybe Java expertise or React expertise or that. And adaptability is one thing I would say is the major part in our tech job. You have to adapt. Like what I'm working right now, after 5 years, it won't be the same. So I should learn the technique of how to learn. So that's, I would say.
Great to hear this. Navneet, it was in your tenure, okay, it was in your tenure, the AI as name was booming. What was your reaction to it? How did you deal with it?
AI basically, in my tenure, I would say AI is not replacing any jobs as of now. It is a tool which developers are using to increase their productivity. So AI, like coding, is becoming easier, but engineering is still harder,
Hmm.
is still tougher. So if you know how to solve a problem, how to approach it, that still requires human effort. There was an article in India Today which I was reading 1 or 2 days before. Like Anthropic founder also said that coding has become easier, and now the developer is able to work 10x he was able to 2 years ago. Basically 10x the work he was able to do 10, I think 2 or 3 years ago. But AI is still not beneficial, and human is more important in a way that human is better able to think which problem to solve, which problem is worth solving for, and the high level architecture overview. Coding can be done by Claude, but thinking ability and which problem and how to solve it, high level architecture, is still human driven. So that is what my
Very
take.
true. Very true. Okay, because I think there is a lot of noise about it. This could be the possibility. No one is, you know, everyone is talking the same that AI could replace, AI can replace. No, it's not like this, but they are not seeing the reality of it. Let's start with a bigger picture now, because I think there is a lot of misconception regarding this one. So my question comes here. Everyone is saying the tech job market is tough right now, but it is actually tough, or it just tough for the wrong skill set, or what does the hiring landscape genuinely look like in 2026 from then?
Honestly, I think every market is tough for the wrong skills. So also every industry, be it tech or non-tech, becomes difficult when supply is much higher than demand. So in 2020, knowing just the basics of web development or basic coding was enough to stand out, maybe. But in 2026, that is simply the minimum requirement for most of the roles. So companies are no longer hiring people who can just write code, because Cloud Code or Cursor can easily do that. They're hiring people who can actually solve problems. For freshers, one of the key things companies look is how good your problem solving skills are. And even for experienced candidate, I would say it matters a lot. That's why DSA is still one of the most frequently asked topic in tech interviews right now as well. So many people are talking about layoff, as you have said, but trust me, companies are struggling to hire strong engineers. Like if I talk about my company itself, as well, we take so many interviews just to hire for one position, as finding a right fit for our team is still very difficult. So we have a strange situation where there are both unemployed developers and unfilled engineering positions at the same time. And according to me, the gap is skills only. So the engineers who understand systems, let's say AI tools, product thinking, communication, and have the ownership, sense of ownership, are still getting opportunities. So yes, I would say the market is tougher than before, but mostly for the people preparing for a market that no longer exists right now. So that's my take.
So I would say for this, people, there's a lot of resources, a lot of content out there, but sometimes students get overwhelmed from this. So how to approach learning in this era? It's not,
Um,
I am not asking for a particular resource, but how to approach learning in particular.
Approaching learning, I would say there are a lot of resources, but what I see from students doing right now is just consuming the content and not actually implementing it, to be honest. Basically, they are watching all those tutorials, they are watching all those series, bookmarking some of the roadmaps shared by influencers, maybe some LinkedIn posts, but they are not actually implementing anything. So
Hmm.
basically, it is not a real progress. It is just you are thinking you are progressing, but not in real. So you have to think of a problem, you have to understand it, you have to debug through it, you have to solve it by your own. Like you have to get your hands dirty. And how to approach it, basically, in today's time there is a chat gpt and the AI era. You can use chat gpt to actually tell what can be the idea, your daily routine, daily problems, and what can be one of those problems which you can pick and start solving with respect to engineering as well. And one thing I have noticed in many of the resume for students is they have these projects attached, but these projects are stale in GitHub repositories only. They have not hosted it, they have not taken any domain or something like that. It's just a stale project sitting in GitHub. So that should not be the case. Like, you have to experience it, you have to try it, you have to host it, and then only you will get that visibility to crack something. And approaching is basically, I would say, for a fresher, you have to focus on problem solving first. That boils down as to solving some DSA concepts, because that's how your solving ability will become stronger. So that's
Hmm.
one.
I would recommend everyone watching this to note this down and work exactly like this. You'll definitely get somewhere. All right. Navneet, my next question comes from something more close to your, something on which you have been talking and creating content for a longer time. So I want to ask, which tech roles are seeing the most demand right now that most students are not even aware of targeting, and which roles that were hot 2 years ago are quietly becoming less relevant?
Okay. So right now I see strong demand, or I would say buzzwords like AI engineering, AI agent development, AI applied machine learning, ML ops, cloud engineering. And with AI, there comes a strong demand for security engineers as well nowadays. So also, I won't paint a target to any particular job by saying it is irrelevant or less relevant. But according to me, what is becoming less valuable is being extremely narrow with respect to your mindset. So, for example, someone whose entire identity is like, I only write CRUD APIs, or I only create UI screens. So, company increasingly want engineers who can own larger part of a product, not just something very niche, I would say. So, the future belongs to the engineers who can connect the dots across different domains, not just focus on one piece of the puzzle, I would say. So, that's
Hmm.
how here at Greenlight, at least, we think before hiring.
This is the list worth writing down actually, because most people are chasing the same five roles everyone else is chasing and are completely ignoring a set of roles which are booming, which will be giving you returns in next 5 years or 10 years. All right. Now the question nobody in tech can avoid in 2026, and it's about AI. AI is the most talked about force in tech right now. From what you are seeing, AI actually replacing developers' job, creating new ones, or just changing? And this question I'm asking in respect of US market as well. It's not just in India. We are aware what's working in India and what's not, but in US as well. Um, is this creating new ones, or just replacing, or just changing what the job exactly looks like day to day?
My view is very simple on this. Like, AI is not replacing engineers. I would put it across: engineers who use AI are replacing engineers who don't. That's what is happening. So, like, if we look historically as well, like
So
if I take an
is it the same in Indian job market and US job market? Is it the
same for,
same?
definitely it's same for everywhere. Like, I've already discussed about, if you have a mindset that I will only do this and I will only write this, like, that is the mindset you need to change. You have to own a bigger picture, you have to own a bigger product. But yeah, I don't agree that AI is altogether replacing jobs. There is a significant reduction count, but that too only for those engineers which don't have the broader mindset. So, like, if we look historically as well, calculators didn't eliminate mathematicians. MS Excel, if I take, didn't eliminate accountants as well. So likewise, AI is, I would say, just another productivity tool. And there is one uncomfortable, or I would say harsh truth as well, that a company that previously needed 10 engineers for a task may now only need 6, maybe, because of
Hmm.
AI. So yes, productivity has definitely increased, and headcount requirements in some of the areas have reduced. That is a reality, but the demand for highly skilled engineers has actually increased, I would say. So AI is eliminating that low value repetitive work. while increasing the value of problem solving and architecture and business understanding. So yeah.
The honest answer there is more nuanced than more headlines suggest. It is not replacement or opportunity. It is both, depending entirely on what you choose to do and where you want to go. All
Exactly.
right. So, as you have already list down the number of roles, these roles are emerging, and all the companies want to hire on such roles. And in the AI job market, one can look up to these roles. But there are few people who says ki it's just a buzzword and it will go silent like after 2 or 3 years, right? So for these people, my next question to you is new job titles like AI engineer, prompt engineering, ML ops, LLM fine tuning specialist, are these role long term career path or just buzzword that will fade in 2 years?
AI engineer, ML ops, and agentic development, I would say these are real. These can be long-term career growth if you are interested towards the AI side of the part. But prompt engineer, as you have mentioned, as a standalone long-term career is, I don't think probably is possible, because I know for a fact a year ago people were discussing prompt engineering heavily. But today's model, like if you talk about the latest Opus 4.8 model, it understands context much better. So instead of prompt engineering, it's just a matter of context, how good context you are providing it to it. So the skill is no longer writing magical prompts, I would say. The skill is to understand business problems and to give the AI the right context, right data and workflows. So that is the better skill, I would say, rather than just giving a prompt. And that's why I believe the future engineers won't be judged by simple prompts. They will be judged by how effectively they integrate AI into products. So that's how it is. But yeah, definitely some of these are real long term. Some of them, like prompt engineering, is just not sufficient alone to like have a long term career in it.
Connected to this only, I want to ask one should keep on changing or evolving their roles, or one should take one role as long term. Again, I guess my question is the same. If we take prompt engineering, you said it won't work post 2 or 3 years. If you are only a prompt engineer, then how should he be evolving, or should he be like sitting stable and doing nothing with it? No, no.
So like my take is basically, let's take an example of prompt engineering only. So if you are working in a domain, let's say prompt engineering is giving a better prompt to the AI and like getting some magical responses based on those prompts. So if you're working on a piece of product, you have to evolve in a way that like you need to think in a way that how this prompt is actually mattering for the response of the AI. So you have to go in deep how these LLM models work. Whatever niche you are working on, be it front end, back end, AI, whatsoever, you have to be more specific towards what I am doing, how is it happening, and you have to go deep inside it. So if you think in that way, you will automatically cover everything around it. Whatever you are doing, you will touch every bits and pieces of whatever is present around it. So it will definitely increase your horizon knowledge, and it will cover eventually everything.
All right. Now let's talk something about your company, because companies like Greenlight are building fintech products at scale, and we want to know like the skill set related to it. So, what skills such companies, as you have also interviewed there, is actually looking for priority? What they prioritize when they hire, and when they hire in 2026, right now, what they are looking for. That's what.
Um, might be some of the people not like hearing this, but nobody gets hired just because they know Spring Boot or they know React. Like thousands of candidates, have the same knowledge of the same technologies, I would say. But what gets you to the offer is the ability to think, ability to figure out, ability to drive and solve a problem. Like during interviews, companies are trying to answer majorly couple of questions like, can this person solve problems? Can this person learn quickly? Can this person be trusted with ownership? Like technical skills do get you into the interview, but I would say ownership gets you to the offer. Like technical skills are important, but if I talk about my interview experiences as an interviewer, I look more for how the candidate is driving towards the solution rather than the actual final solution. Basically his ability to think, his problem solving skills, and that's why I still recommend doing DSA to all the students, even to experienced professionals, because it actually helps us increasing your problem solving ability, and that will never fade even after 5 years.
Navneet, what was the skill that helped you from the very beginning of your career till now? And here I require a soft skill.
Soft skill, I would say directly soft skill may communication, the sense of ownership as well, those things, and the adaptability and quick learning mindset. I would say, like, doesn't matter if I'm working on Java only, I might get hired as a Python developer as well. And if I get the sense to the company that I can do it, I can adapt it, I can learn it fast, then and I can have the sense I can own the product, then company will definitely take me even if I don't know Python, because they know that I have that ability to figure things out and to learn things quickly. So that's what has played a major role in my journey, because I had been laid off twice in the early start of my career. So I was not stucking on I will only apply for Java roles, I will only apply for these roles. I was good with problem solving and I was applying to whatever opportunities coming towards me. And I was just saying that if I have not learned it, I am open to learn this and I will learn it quickly. So that's how it worked for me, I would say.
You have just given two things: job description and what companies actually want often are completely different. And you just gave the list to it, that how one can, go for it. Let's zoom out a bit, because a lot of developers watching this are thinking to go abroad beyond India, settle down there. And this one is for them. That what is the biggest mistake you see people making right now while trying to break into such tech roles abroad? Sometimes something that is completely costing them opportunities.
Abroad, I think it's more or less same for abroad or even in India as well. I have already covered this as well, that like as of now in the tech era, like everyone has access to internet and there are so many tutorials going out on YouTube or whatsoever. So students are mostly consuming more content instead of creating proofs out of it. Like student watch tutorials, they save the LinkedIn post, I would already covered it, and whatever roadmaps, and they watch the YouTube videos whatsoever. But companies don't just hire the bookmarks you have, like they need evidences to hire. So they want to see you building projects and deploying them, so host them on a server. Your resume should have a hosted link of the project, like I have already covered this, like lots of resume I've seen the projects they have attached are just sitting in their GitHub repo and are not hosted. And they have, some of the students have just built a weather app that was 2018 copied project. Everyone knows about it, we all are from the software engineering industry only. So we know by looking at the resume only, we get to see that if it is worth something, I should give my more 5 more minutes or not. So like even Hostinger provides your choice of domain, like with very minimal cost. So I would say if you have built some project, just host it. Don't just let it sit in the GitHub repo. It will give you visibility, because visibility is at most important. If you are like learning n number of things and nobody knows about it rather than your friends only, then there is no sense of achieving it. Because sometimes the person who is less knowledgeable but have more visibility can land into offer that then compared to you, because might be you have more knowledge but nobody knows about it. So having that connections on LinkedIn, referrals, you coming out of your comfort zone and posting on LinkedIn about what you have made, all those things can help you gain the visibility. And by coming the visibility, you will automatically get the reach out from most of the HRs on LinkedIn, most of the people that, hey, I saw you are working on these things, these are the tech stacks you are working, this project I've liked, and now I have this position, we have our company is hiring for this position, are you interested? So all those things will happen once you start showing things out on LinkedIn or any other websites. Like that's what I can say.
Few of them has dropped the text in the comment section, and they are asking, how does a profile looks like for a candidate? How should he prepare if one is targeting the US job market? Is it the same one is preparing for the Indian job market, or something adding more to it?
Honest answer is basically, as of now, landing jobs in US job markets from India, doing like education from India is like literally really hard, because H1B visas, there are recently restrictions over 100K dollars company have to pay if they need to hire someone from India. So you need to be extreme, like you need to be someone who have those skills which can't be hired in USA easily. Only then company will be able to rely on you, or will be able to uh, spend that much on you. So I would say the path will be similar, only the for freshers there is always DSA and some of the projects you can showcase, or some of the internship skills you can showcase. You have to pick one of those streams, like whether it will be a development backend developer, agentic AIs or models, LLMs, whatsoever, plus combine it with DSA and some of the theories. But to be honest, from my perspective, uh, getting it from Indian market, getting job in US right now is extremely difficult from freshers perspective. But it is like there is a chance of getting it possible if you have really strong resume, and you have those like you are 6 star on code chef, you have great problem solving skills, and the company on the other side thinks that bringing this candidate will actually bring more than 100K dollars of revenue, and we won't be able to hire such talent in US itself, because their major priority will be their people, because they don't have to pay that extra 100K dollars to hire them.
Okay, so as this year is already half complete, and if someone is sitting here, what's the right time for him to start preparation or start applying for the US job market?
uh, this is from my perspective, I would say, getting like you what I am aiming for, if I think I need to go to US for it, I will actually improve my resume, I will take some of the experience, I will learn some of the skills, I will be here for 2 3 years in India, maybe what wherever company, whatever opportunities I am getting, I will try my 100%. I will ace on it, and I will try to showcase those things on my LinkedIn profile as well. And then I will start building those connections in the LinkedIn itself to reach out to those teams or those domains. Like, let's say I'm working in a fintech company. So I can target those fintech companies in US who are like recently building, who are hiring enough. And I have those skill set. I have already done it. Like my company is based out of US, operating in US, but we have a development center in Bangalore. So I can pitch them, like I can show them that I have done this for this company, and your company is similar to that domain as well. I have all the required skills, and what if you hire a new engineer from US, it might take him 10 to 12 months, which I can do it just in 1 or 2 months. So that should be one thing I should focus on, that I have such a strong resume which I can showcase, and which I can take on to reach out to people, which can support my argument that I have those skills which you are looking for.
Okay, this was something more important, I believe, when it's about skill and the projects, as you have already told what you have done so far. These are the important things, and same goes it with Indian companies as well. They more focus on projects, I believe. Is it
Um,
so?
I would say projects plus, like, are you talking about with respect to the freshers or experience? There is a slight gap,
Both,
but
because see, these companies are looking for projects only. Means when we see here at Geeks for Geeks, kids are into projects. They are creating projects regularly. We are helping them to work on their things. So we see, even if it's fresher, companies are seeing what they have worked on so far.
yes. So I've already covered this, but companies does see two parts of candidates. I would say one is soft skills, which we have already covered. Talking about the tech skills, they check two things. One is your problem solving skills, basically the DSA. That's why the very first round itself in most of the companies is DSA round. The second thing they see is how you can think of a problem, how you are executing it, how you are doing it with respect to how you are implementing it, and the development part of it. So projects comes in picture to know what you have built, what you have executed, how you have built. So all those system design round or lower level design round, LLD rounds, are covered. And if you have like created a project, you will be asked all those questions like how you have implemented, what are those LLDs, what are those models, what is the choice of design schemas, all those things that company do ask. So both of the things are equally important. I won't say just do DSA, or I won't say just do the projects. You have to keep both in sync, like implementation and problem solving ability. Both will actually take you to the right path, I would say. Both things are
Uh,
necessary.
as you talk about a lot of jobs, uh, what would be one thing that you would have suggest your brother or sister if they are starting their career right now?
Mm, uh, I would say, if you talk about one skill to focus on, it's the ability to learn how to learn. Like, I know it sounds very generic, but honestly, hear me out. Technologies changes all the time. The tools I use today might not be the same I will be using 5 years from now. That's why I think adaptability is one of the biggest tech advantage. I would say now, if, especially talking about like my brother or sister, maybe they're freshers or something, I would say focus on becoming a great problem solver. And in the software engineering world, that usually boils down to having strong DSA fundamentals itself. Because the reason is simple: technologies come and go, but problem solving never goes out of demand. So that's exactly why companies continue to put so much emphasis on DSA during interviews as well. So at the end of the day, engineers who can learn fast and can solve problems are the ones who stay relevant even after like every technology shift. So just one more suggestion I have is just try to leverage the AI as well whenever you are building the project. If you are able to integrate any LLM model out of it, let's say uh, for a suggestion or something, you are leveraging AI inside your project, that can actually highlight that you know how to leverage current trends inside the development thing, and you have leveraged AI in your project wherever needed. Like, don't just bring it just because you want it, but for a valid use case, just try to think it whether it can be solvable through an AI in a better way. You can do the static, you can implement the static rules as well and fall back to AI wherever required in your project. So that can actually help other companies, or the interviewer knows that yeah, this candidate knows how to approach a problem in different ways by leveraging AI as well. So that's what I can say.
All right, Navneet, I want to have the entire focus on something very important for which we have conducted this podcast. This is the roadmap, because we want roadmap from someone who has been talking about job and job market since long time. And my question comes here: someone is watching this right now. They want to crack a top tech companies or product companies where they can work, like they can see their next 5 years growth, everything. uh how, how a roadmap should look like when I want to crack such big roles, how it should be.
Okay, so basically, what one should do to crack any of the upcoming companies they want to, and how they should prepare for it, right?
Yeah.
Uh, so if I were starting from scratch today, this is honestly the roadmap I would follow. I would say for the first few months, maybe 1 or 2, I would focus heavily on building my foundations. I would start by doing DSA consistently, strengthening my core CS subjects like operating system, DBMS, computer networks, object oriented programming. All those theory subject I will brush up, and at the same time I would begin getting comfortable with AI tools, because they are becoming part of like almost every engineer's workflow right now. So that will be my first goal. Then in the next few months, maybe 1 or 2, whatever, however your speed is, and however time have left, I would stop consuming the things and I will start building things. So I would pick one real problem and build a project around it. I would deploy it, use AI wherever it makes sense, add proper analytics, and try to make it as close as to a real product as possible. And then in the final few months of my preparation, I would focus on getting opportunities. I would optimize my resume, make it ATS friendly, because right now if you apply to any job, there is no direct human selection. It is basically AI is eliminating some of the interview and shortlisting some of the interviews. So your resume should be optimized according to like ATS friendly score should be there. And I would start reaching out for referrals. I will apply aggressively in those last months, and if possible, I will try to give mock interviews. And most importantly, I will start networking on LinkedIn, because a lot of opportunities come from people knowing what you have built and what you are capable of. And if I could leave a student with, I think, one final thought, it would be this: that do not spend all your time chasing just trends. Like every year, there is a new framework or a new tool or a new buzzword, but rather than focus on building strong fundamentals and strong problem solving skills, because trend will change, but those fundamentals will continue to pay like throughout your career. So that's what I can suggest. I think Avni has dropped off. Let me check some comments. If anyone have any question by the time Avni joins, you can like ask in the chat. I will try to answer as much like possible for me in the best effort. I'll wait for one more minute and then we will end this. Thanks for the guidance. No worries. There's one more message I want to give to the students, just to remember, like the goal was never to become a coder. It should never be, because like you can easily be replaceable by an AI agent or something. But the goal is to become a problem solver. I would say, like, technologies will change, AI will change, interview patterns will also change, but companies will always pay people who can solve meaningful problems. So if you focus on that, you will stay relevant no matter what the next wave look like. So you are in US right now. Will you go to watch FIFA match? I'm not in US. I am working remotely for the US company. It's not remote. We have actually a development center in Bangalore, so it's kind of hybrid. But yeah, I have been to US in November last year for a month. Like there were some conferences and meetings, and then I explored US as well. Pretty good places. I've been to like 8 9 states, I would say, there on a long 2 3 weeks vacation. It was fun. Have some water. I will definitely after the podcast. Anything else? How to build good connection when you don't have any experience? Yeah, you have to chase for visibility. I would say start posting on LinkedIn the best way possible. Try to read some of the articles, tech articles, go through some YouTube tutorials, and whatever learning you have, you can sum it up and put it on your LinkedIn. So that way your reach will get increased, you will get noticed, and try to send requests to most of the people's whatever company, whatever domain you are liking. That's why how I did. And I also used in my early college days the cold emailing concept. If I like a company, I reach out to recruiter using cold emailing or something like that, so that I know it will be very tough. 100 emails you will be sending, but you will only get reply one out of those you will get. But that one is what you need, right? So all those things. Oh, Avni has joined. Sorry, I was just checking some of the comments and
So
taking
sorry,
notes.
there was some network glitch.
No worries, no worries.
There was some network. Yeah. Here come before we close this, Navneet, we want to know your content creation journey. How did you started with idea?
I lost your voice in between, but I know the question what you wanted to ask. I think you wanted to know how I started creating content, right? What was the aim behind it, or something like that, right? Uh, I think you have a network issue, but I know what you wanted to ask. So it is a very great, interesting story. Like I was in US in back November, and we for college students, we have a group of people. Like we are four friends from college, and that group is really helpful in my whole career. Like I would say those four people are gem of a person for me. And basically we plan to start creating something apart from our regular work. We started consuming so much content on Instagram, and our phone uses timing was increasing, and we thought that we can add some value, we can start try creating something. And I thought of what we can, and then we got to know that all of us are doing great, and there is a market crunch, market shift in tech as well, and there are opportunity crises. Lot of students are not getting placed, so we started with a basic concept of let's just try to help those students with some hiring opportunities, more or less those fresher students who want to know which company is hiring, what all tech stack is required, and all those things. So it was a POC which started by my two friends in November when I was in US. So I thought I will start it when I come back to India. But in 15-20 days, they both get insane response. And then we decided from December onwards that let's do it full fledged. And then how it started. And now I am also thinking to start a channel with just the concepts and the interview questions and some of the tech concepts. So I might start it another channel soon. So just to help student know the right set of questions, knowledge, and tech stack, and the theory part of it. Basically, I am posting jobs and opportunities one of my channel, but I want to post the content to crack those jobs, the questions, the relevant skills about it in my other channel. Maybe hope I will start it soon. So yeah.
You will definitely. We trust you. With that, Navneet, concluding this podcast, and thank you so much because this was some conversation we really appreciate having. The today's job market is changing, evolving faster than ever, and student must be aware about the same. And thank you so much for sharing your insights, your wisdom, so that we can cope up with the market, we can cope up with what industries are demanding right now. Thank you for coming to the podcast, and we'll be waiting for having another one with you definitely next year in next 6 months. And so, thank you so much for joining. And for the someone who is watching it right now, you can rewatch the podcast for noting down all the insights Navneet has shared. You can also reach out to him on TikTok by Navneet, and yeah, you can follow his page too, and you can keep up with Geeks for Geeks for the another podcast we'll be having at 6:30 p.m. today. Thank you so much for watching. Do like, share, and subscribe. Bye bye.
Bye everyone.
Bye, Navneet.